Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to all my wonderful viewers here on Arise Humanity and also Soul Family on Rumble, a wonderful author and transformative coach who has had 25 years experience in the field. His name is Matt Traverso. He works with CEOs, athletes, entrepreneurs, and everyday people who want to get more out of themselves and their lives. He mentors coaches at all stages of their careers and from beginner coaches to seasoned professionals. Matt is going to share with us today a wonderful new book that he has written called Unlock Your Potential, Own Your Power, Master Your Emotions, and Live Your Best Life Today. So this book is about reaching your full potential and fulfilling your dreams while making a difference in the lives of others, which is exactly the sort of topic that I love to share on my channel. Very positive, constructive, and so important at the moment with everything going on in the world. I love the quote that you use as well, Matt, which is a quote by Henry David Thoreau, observing that most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them. And that it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and forget why you're doing this in the first place. And before you know it, time runs out, you're at the end of your life and you think, what have I done? So thank you for being here, Matt. Wonderful to chat with you today. And
Happy.
please share with us a little bit about yourself and your background if you can.
Yeah, sure. Right. I'm very happy to be here, and I've been involved in this field of coaching for over 25 years. And that's what I've been doing. I'm also a psychologist, but I practice coaching as I find it more impactful and effective and a lot more practical. And of course, I also think that there is more pressure, or at least a greater expectation in coaching from the perspective of the client to get results. So clients want to see results fast, as opposed to in a psychological or therapeutic context. Yes, so it's been my passion, and I spent an eternity writing this book, because I actually started, you're not going to believe it, back in 2004.
Wow.
So 20 years. Yes.
Gosh.
Meantime, I did lots of other things and other books in other languages as well, and projects of all sorts. But this one project, I would work on bit by bit, and then I spent a lot of time um, distilling the whole message into something as concise and impactful and profound and effective as possible. And I'm I hope that I've actually achieved this outcome, and so far so good. It's been very well received. I had very high expectations on this project. It had to be really like boom, direct, powerful, uplifting immediately. You don't have to read the whole book, but within a few pages, you know that, all right, you don't want to put it down. You want to go through the whole thing in one go, one read. It's actually almost 200 pages, so maybe not in one read, but yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Not just the book, but it's been a big project.
It truly sounds like a life's work.
Yes, almost right. Like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I don't remember how long it took Napoleon Hill, but way more than 20 years.
Gosh,
Way
I
more
didn't
than
know that.
20 years.
Ah,
Well, yeah, that's way more than 20 years. And yes, well, but it was worth it.
totally. Well, yes, he did well with his book. You know,
It
it's
did well.
such a
Yes,
standard for people, isn't it? Um,
absolutely.
so what the main inspiration that made you want to create this book, Unlock Your Potential?
Yes, right. The main inspiration was to write it for me. Yeah, no, you can say it was very, it was initiated from very selfish reasons. That's right. As I knew, but of course, because I was like, if it works with me, then it's gonna work with everybody. So, but it's got to be very effective in my life, and therefore every page is like that. And so I've just, the inspiration and the over arching purpose and reason to write this book was to find everything that I could find on how to best utilize my potential, my skills, my gifts, my resources, because otherwise, it's not a good feeling. Like, learning at the end of your life. Oh my gosh, I could have done this. I could have done that. Did I have all that potential? And I used like 1% or even 5% is not. I don't think it's good enough. So I just looked for anything that I could find in terms of tools, beliefs, ways, especially ways of dealing with our thinking, our thoughts, our emotions, because that's what drives everything. That's what our
Yes,
life is the result of what we think every day, ongoingly, consciously and unconsciously. So being aware of the process and what that entails, I think is foundational to living well, so that you know how to use your mind. And it's actually, and the biggest discovery is that we actually live in a world of thought. And I knew that thinking had a lot to do with how we live our life, how we feel, and how we behave. But I didn't think that I would find out that our whole experience of life, from the moment we are born to our last breath, is a psychological experience that has not much to do with the external reality.
sure, absolutely. Do you think that the mind or the mental body is the biggest obstacle in terms of reaching our potential and overcoming the blocks with the mind? What is the biggest obstacle, do you think?
Did you mention mind, body, and mind? What did you say? Sorry, we
Um, if the mind or the mental body and the
mental body.
thoughts, perhaps the negative thoughts, were the
Okay,
biggest
sure,
block, perhaps,
for
for
sure.
reaching our potential.
Of course, absolutely. Yes, of course. What else? Only the stuff we pay attention to, only the stuff that we are aware of can stop us, can block us, can make us fearful, nothing else. If we're not thinking about it, if we don't have awareness of something, we have no worries, no anxiety, no insecurities, no fears, and no limitations, of course. So that clarifies that point. So that's why, yes, it's like the old phrase says, our mind is the only obstacle. Sure, but what specifically when we say our mind is our thinking? Yes, that's it. Our thoughts, but especially, well, let's be even more precise. Our thoughts that we take as real, that we regard as true.
Yes.
Because if we say in 5 seconds the world will end, I don't believe it. You won't, probably. You don't either. So we don't actually pay any attention. It doesn't affect us. Only the thoughts that we actually think are real, like, yes, that look real to us, that's what can even kill us and heal us.
Sure,
I
sure.
don't know.
So
Yes,
it's your
yes.
perception that is so important, and everyone has their own perception.
Yes, that's right. That's like the phrase, like we all live, we don't, there is no actual reality for us humans to comprehend. There is not. There is not. We can't. There is only the perceived reality, the perception, the subjective perception each of us have of reality. That's the only reality we actually have. So we all live in 8 billion different realities.
It's
Yes.
true. It's true. And so therefore we want to create the best possible perception that we can have to create the best possible outcome.
Well, that's what I used to believe when I used to teach and study and teach NLP. And that's what that's the idea. It's like, hey, it's all a bunch of stories. Well, since that's the reality, let's make up some good ones, some happy ones, some empowering ones. Well, that's good, but actually, I think we can transcend that and realize that if we realize that it is all thought in essence, then we don't necessarily have to really change our thoughts. Like, the quotes or the book titles, change your thoughts, change your life. It's not a bad message, but as soon as you realize, you catch it, that it's made of thought, it loses all its power. And we become masters, true masters of our life. And nothing really phases us, particularly when we can spot it, when we can catch wise to it, when we can discern that the dragon, the monsters are made of thought. And I'm referring, when I say monsters, metaphorically, they're like the worries, they're made of thought. The insecurities, the fears, the anxieties are made of thought. If I realize, discern that it's made of thought, then it loses all the power. I say, okay, that's a silly thought. Do I have to change it and make it a pretty and intelligent thought? Maybe eventually it will on its own, because we're not that silly. We're not that dumb. And also, an important part of the book and of me, my process in coaching, because I actually write about what I do on a daily basis. It's not like, oh, a nice little book to no. It was like my life's work, like you said earlier, quite well. So there are two major pillars. One is is appreciating and realizing, really in an embodied way, having an embodied understanding that we live in a world of thought, and therefore we can only feel our thinking. Even though we think we live in a world of external circumstances, not a chance. And therefore events cannot make us feel anything. It's impossible. Not because we say that we make the incantation or the affirmation, and nothing to do like that. Is that the outside world cannot affect us directly, but through the middleman, which is thought. The thought is the
And
middleman,
it
the
comes to
filter.
me the expression, the monkey mind, they call it
Correct.
the monkey mind, which is all the thoughts, the random thoughts and things that come in that are very much, if you're not aware of them, They can sort of
Yes.
lead you astray. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. It's like it's catching wise to that process, and then you don't take it as seriously or personally or like pervasively, like the guys from positive psychology, Michel, Csikszentmihalyi, Mihail Csikszentmihalyi, the guy from Flow, was talking about, and or permanent. But you say, okay, it's just a transient, because that's its nature of thought. It's transient. It's temporary, and it's just it's already gone. As soon as it's as soon as I see uh anything that I create in my mind, which is all the experiences that I have, including the ones that may be limiting, as for what they really are, I'm good. They've lost all their power
Yes.
over me. That is so enlightening and freeing and liberating as an experience, when you actually see what's happening in that holds us back. And the other pillar was having a strong connection to the energy of life, the intelligence of life, the wisdom of life. Because hey, it's not like we are here in the universe and the universe is over there, and you say, all right, let's say, check this out. That's the universe, and I'm here. No. Oh, that's like, oh, look at the mountains, the rivers. That's life. No,
Yes.
I'm the ultimate expression of life, of universe. We are here, the ultimate expression of the universe, and we're doing whatever the universe is doing. It's like life is lifing through us, and let it life. Meaning, if we get that beautiful connection, which is also a spiritual connection, then we are good, because we are guided. We really feel guided. We have a strong
So
sense of
important.
intuition.
Yes.
The insight is present constantly, and our inner guidance is leading us, and we just go with the flow. But,
I love
but
that. When you talk about an expression of yourself in the universe, your Europeanness and your wonderful hand movements, and because you're living in Spain, you're based in Spain, that aspect of as you talk, your whole self is coming through, and that's your expression in the universe. I
yeah.
was thinking about that as you were talking. It was funny. What part of Spain, by the way, do you live in?
Yeah, but I have nothing to do with the Spanish culture. I have a lot more to do with the Italian culture.
Right.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
in fact, my last name is actually Italian, Traverso.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. So where is your original sort of ancestry coming from in Italy? What part?
In Tuscany, Tuscany,
Oh, how
where
gorgeous.
yes, yeah, where Leonardo da Vinci, all the good one, Michelangelo, all the all the great creative
Oh, I love that. The Renaissance.
artists,
I love that.
Renaissance.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So, what part of Spain? What made you go to Spain then? Tell
Well, I'm not in. Yes, yes, geographically, technically, I'm in Spain, because I am on Majorca,
Mallorca. How beautiful. Yeah.
Palma
Mm,
de Mallorca, which is a beautiful place, beautiful island. And I'm actually, from right in front of my house. I have the beautiful ocean. Well, actually, it's the beautiful sea, the palm trees, beautiful white sandy beaches.
gorgeous.
And it's nice and quiet. It's clean. It's always sunny. Do I need more reasons to?
So obviously
to
you've unlocked your potential to be able to manifest such a wonderful reality. Has this writing of the book been
yeah,
key
sure.
in manifesting such a great life for
Yes,
yourself?
yes, exactly. I wanted this lifestyle. Wanted to be like on this kind of heavenly place, beautiful island by the beach, going swimming like every first thing in the morning. And I've been doing it for years and years and years. I lived in Hawaii as well, in Malta, which is not a fantastic island. I prefer this island and other parts as well. Also, I've been in Australia, but not for long periods of time. I would love to. You know, I was there in Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise.
Which is not far from me.
Not far from you. Wow, you live in a fantastic part of the world, Queensland. Yeah, yes, of course, Brisbane, Queensland. That's it.
Gorgeous. And the place I live, Redcliffe, to me, is the best part of Brisbane. And Brisbane's the best city in Australia, in my humble opinion.
Yes. But there are so many, like Sydney and Melbourne, you know, they're consistently being rated, especially Melbourne, like the most livable place on the planet, next to Vienna, next to Vancouver and Brisbane.
Yeah, true. You've included some exercises in your book, Matt. Could you walk us through some of your favorites and explain their benefits, please?
Well, right, sure. And yes, we need some thought-provoking exercises to make us think. And otherwise, we're not very good at asking ourselves good, powerful, penetrating questions. We're not very good at asking ourselves questions. So that's why we need coaching, because, you know, we cannot coach ourselves. We can't. Unfortunately, we don't see our blind spots. We don't see our patterns, thought patterns, belief systems. We don't see them. So, you know, that's why some great exercises are useful. Some are just, you know, questions that help clarify what's important to us. And honestly, these are hands down the best the best questions that can help us identify, find out what makes us click, what turns us on, what juices us, what excites us, what makes us, what we are passionate about. These are the best questions I found, and I've been looking for way more than 25 years. And it's just a dozen questions, beautiful. Then other questions. So, you know, that's always very valuable to know. Just, you know, sometimes it's you say, probably, for example, in your case, I would guess you know what makes you click, what what excites you, and you're probably doing it, and you're probably living your dream. Fantastic. But it's good to confirm and go, yes, I'm actually doing it. You know, all these cross-referencing questions are pointing to what I am doing. I am living my dream. So for people like, you know, great coaches and you know, great podcasters, great anything, great people like yourself. So it's good to reaffirm, yes, I am on the right track. Other exercises are to question the negative belief systems. Again, what is a belief is a recurring thought that we consistently see as true. We consider that it is valid, it is real, it's it's objective reality. And if we see it as objective reality, it's gonna be true in our life. We will make it true. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whatever, you know, if you believe it, whatever you believe is true, it is either true or it will become true. And then, so, you know, this is about questioning and helping you be fed up with being controlled by silly ideas.
And isn't it true, Matt, that the majority of our thoughts are subliminal, like subconscious, unconscious thoughts that
Yes.
rule us without us being even aware of what they are? Isn't it something like 80 or 90% of our thinking is subconscious as well? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, sure. Yes, we are absolutely. Yeah, our subconscious is governing our lives. We are run by our subconscious mind. And but what gets into the subconscious mind? That's a good question. What gets there? Whatever we're thinking on an ongoing basis in our conscious lives.
Yeah.
So that's where we actually have the power to steer our ship, our boat, our spacecraft towards our destinations, our ambitions, aspirations, desires, dreams. And then it becomes more and more our, our unconscious experience as well. And unconsciously, so that's why it's a good thing in the morning or at night to dedicate some time to what's most important, our heart's desires, our journaling. That's a very good time to write in our journal, to do visualization exercises. That's a great time to do that. So yes, of course, but at the same time, we also, if we are honest, we can find out the silly beliefs that hold us back, because I am assuming that your question was also perhaps leading to, if it's all unconscious, how do we know? How do we know the unconscious beliefs that are holding us back? Well, it's very, very simple. There are different ways, but for example, if there's something that we would like to make happen, that we would like to have in our life, and we still don't have it, well, there's something holding us back. And that is a negative, a limiting, let's call it a limiting belief. That's one way. And other ways is just to detach ourselves, disassociate ourselves from ourselves, and check the our avatar, like, and check ourselves from from third position, and see what this person is doing day to day over the last, let's say, last few weeks or few months. And so now you see, that's how this person is spending their day. What must they believe to be spending their life like that? You
Yes.
don't, it doesn't take a genius Einstein to figure that out.
Yes, what
So
you
if
put your focus on and your energy into is what you're creating. So you want to make
yeah,
sure that you're putting it in the right direction.
the right direction, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Where your
Yes.
focus goes, energy flows. Yes.
Yes.
Our body always follows our mind.
Mm,
Wherever our mind goes, man will follow. So
that's true.
that's where that's to lead and drive and steer our way to our purpose. That's exactly what we want to take control of. Then, of course, I say, this is more like an expression, to take control, even though controlling our thinking is impossible. But I mean to direct. That's what I mean, direct, because no human can control their thoughts, period, for
Right.
more than a few seconds, and that's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But we can actually direct our thoughts big time, absolutely, 100%. And the more we're connected with our intuition, then we don't actually have to consciously exercise our willpower or our drive to focus, to concentrate let's think in the right way. That drops also. That becomes irrelevant. Once we are connected to something greater, which is what we are, we're always connected, by the way.
Yes, yes,
Just some silly thoughts that get in between of
sure.
us and the universe, but it's just an illusion. Like Einstein would say, the separation is only an illusion, albeit a persistent one.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you have this focus on, well, it's your spirituality, isn't it really? It's your divine connection. Because intuition
Beautiful.
is your connection to your inner voice, your soul, isn't it? Your soul
Yes,
speaking to you.
absolutely.
And I love that you've incorporated that in your whole, this is what I'm all about as well. I love it.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing. That's the most ancient part of ourselves. That's the most authentic part of ourselves. That what you call intuition, gut feeling, we can call it. Inner wisdom, we can call it. Same thing. And the more we honor it, the happier we are, the more ourselves we are.
Yes. You always regret it when you hear that inner voice, it's got a message for you, you ignore it, and you always look back and think, why didn't I listen?
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We want to follow it. We want to honor it. But first, we have to become good at recognizing it,
Yes, exactly. Being able to
connecting
hear
with
it.
it. Yes, yes, hearing it,
Yes.
feeling it. And then finally, being so, and then we get so connected that we are like guided through life
Mm.
ongoingly. And
Yeah.
that's the ultimate, I think. That's the most beautiful thing, because there are no regrets. Because how can you regret your heart's desire, what the universe wants for you, and you know it 1,000%?
Mm.
Wow, that's like an ecstatic, such a joyful state of mind and heart and spirit, such a this level of inner peace.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
huge.
For me, my passion at the moment is painting, and I'm doing heaps of it. I love it so much. What's your passion that really makes you super, super high frequency and happy? What do you do, Matt, in your own time?
What I do, like what I did today, I was coaching for a 2 hour session, an entrepreneur, something that I do every day. And every insight that I help the client have, and I see the light in their eye, that's what makes me shine. That is what lights me up like a Christmas tree. That's it. That's
Beautiful.
what I'm passionate about.
Ah, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Which is the heart of the book, the heart and soul of the book, I imagine.
Well, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Causing insights, because insights are what then take people to make changes, and then to produce the results that they want in a consistent, fully integrated way, so that these results are long lasting because they're fully integrated. And it's not such something like a nice idea that I might share, even though I do sometimes share wonderful ideas, of course. But the most powerful, of course, are the ones, and actually that's an art of inducing this insight, creating this insight friendly space within which people find their own resources, their own solutions, their own answers to their own questions, and they become and they feel more empowered, more confident, they have more self-belief, and less reliance on anybody else, including me. I'm
Yes.
happy when they're like, yes, I got it, and I'm I'm flying, because that's wonderful. And even, I have very successful people that stay with me for years, because sometimes it's not so much just just making important shifts in their lives. They've made all the shifts, all the necessary shifts, but it is to stay on track and to keep evolving and moving in the right direction. And I think that is what a great coach ought to be doing. You cannot just think that you've achieved a level of mastery and you can just put your feet up and just say, all right, I'm there, that's it, I'm a master coach. No, that's not, that doesn't exist.
Sure.
So you're always in the process of mastering is never ending.
Yes.
And it's a constant process of growing mentally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, but more and more it is spiritually. And it's about and if we want to be practical, it's about seeing how everything is ultimately thought. So we come back, we started with thought, and here thought drives our life. And I think that enlightened people have these sometimes natural intuitive capacity to really see that it's all thought. And it's like to see the illusion for what it really is, like the Maya, like in Eastern philosophies, and that's a great place to be when you are at that level. But even when you are at that level, you maybe when you're enlightened, maybe that's it. But I'm not enlightened, and I don't think that
I think
will.
while we're incarnated, we're still learning so much all the time, like you just said. And then if we might get a hint that we're getting beyond maybe that when we cross over and we transition, because maybe we've learned what we need to learn in this lifetime. But while we're here, there's so much to learn.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what School Earth is all about. Here to learn some lessons.
Yes.
Yes, and grow and become who we were always meant to be, become more. In fact, the beginning of the book, here it is, there is a beautiful quote that says,
I'll bring it up on my screen, Matt. I've got it here.
Yes, but it doesn't look, that says, to all who want to get, all right, one of the first few pages, it's probably, this is the cover. If we just move, yeah, anyway, it says, to all who want to get the most out of their lives while becoming more of who they are. That's a beautiful line.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's, I guess, also the ability, like we just talked about, to connect to your authentic self and bring the biggest aspect of that into your life more and more. So I think that everything you're saying sort of ties back to the same themes, which is really good. So
yes, exactly. Being authentic. Sorry, if I, but you said something big, something huge, because the whole process then, if we want to condense it even more, is just being more you than you can possibly imagine.
Yes.
Of being. That's, what the book is about, being authentic, being real, being as you are.
I've got to tell you too, I had a dream about this, Matt. So I did a video on this, just I think one of my last videos about a dream. And it was very interesting because in the dream, I was out doing a job, and I basically took all my clothes off, and then I was just exposing myself to the world, like truly who I was. And it didn't bother me in the dream that I hadn't, but it was just about authentically expressing everything that I am. If people didn't like it, bad luck. So it was very interesting because it was about being really authentic and exposing who you are and not having any sort of hidden things or disguises. I think often when you dream about having no clothes on, that's what it's about. So it was interesting that I had that dream, because I think more and more of us are feeling the need to be able to express more of who we are in the world now than ever before, especially as we're in the process of the planet transitioning and humanity evolving and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. Yes, yes. Also because, being, in fact, the very, very, very last phrase, last line of the book is, well, actually, let's grab it. So here we
Yes,
go. Here it
absolutely.
is. So that I'm going
And
to
of
put
course,
it.
I've got all the links below
So till
for people
then,
to purchase the book. So if everyone who wants to purchase a copy of the book, and also all your contact details below as well, Matt, for people if they
sure.
want to contact you too.
So so the very last is, till then, live your dreams and let each day be a reflection of your truest, most authentic self. Let each day be a reflection, i.e., the mirror of your truest, most authentic self. So that means that we are really connected. We are feeling, because one of the on the fifth chapter, I talk about wisdom, intuition, and therefore helping the reader connect with that part, because that's like a shortcut to happiness, to authenticity, and to peak performance, and to having an inner compass guiding you along the way. You just have to set an intention and just trust your intuition that will lead you to where you need to go. And you know that. Yes.
Absolutely. My one of my inner guides, I guess you could say, or inner mentors, is interestingly the philosopher from way, way back, Socrates. And Socrates, one of his most well-known quotes is, "To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom." That's all about knowing thyself and being therefore an expression of who you truly are, and being able to be your authentic self in the world. So that's really interesting, because I love Socrates. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. To know oneself is the beginning of wisdom, and that's it. That's what this book is about. Knowing yourself, getting to know yourself, developing a really strong, really wonderful, healthy relationship with yourself, and start nurturing that relationship, like really loving yourself. I know that we hear so much about, no, but really, yeah, honestly, sincerely, you are the person you put before everything else, so that you can actually make everybody else feel very special, because you know what it's like.
Exactly. I think
Yes.
that's a biggest test for so many people. They can do it with, their best friend or their, family member or something, but very hard for many people to give that love
Yeah.
to themselves. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, that's a big challenge, but that's like the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end of everything. Again, it comes down to this question: do you truly love yourself? Because if you don't, I don't care what you learn, how many books you read on self-help, none of it matters. It's all about loving oneself. Otherwise, you're always fighting a battle with yourself, and you will never win. You will always lose.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a beautiful quote by Saint Francis of Assisi.
Oh, who I love as well.
Yeah, all right.
Patron
He
saint of
said,
animals.
sorry?
Patron saint of animals.
Right. There's a beautiful quote where he says, what you are looking for is you.
Yeah.
meaning that the love that you're truly seeking, people are like looking for, let's, in relationships, let finish with this relationship, let's grab somebody else.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they wonder why the patterns are recurring and present and manifesting themselves over and over again in these relationships. And they're like, oh no, and they're always out of love, always seeking love, looking for love outside will never be found. It's only once we actually embrace the love we already have, then we will find it everywhere.
Yes, and I guess the consciousness that you are an expression of the divine. You have, God within you, and therefore you are unlimited potential. Uh, you're not just a person doing everything on your own, off your own bat. You're connected to so much more than we can conceive.
Nicely put. Very beautiful. Pointed out. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's it.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I love talking to you. You're very inspirational. Your energy, your passion for this topic. It's wonderful to chat with you. So, you mentioned mentors and role models. Is there a particular mentor that's really impacted you in your life, Matt?
So many, so many. I was a seminar junkie in the 90s, and listening to all the self-help audio cassettes back in those days, in
Yes.
the late 80s, early 90s. And, in the 90s, living in London, I lived in London for more than 20 years. I'm British Italian. And so I've had many mentors, many mentors. How many? Okay, let's mention a few. Tony Robbins, of course. He was, Jim Rohn, another one,
Yeah.
Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
Because I happened to develop a great relationship with them during the training that I did with them was John Grinder and Richard Bandler, the founders of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. These were, I would say, the main ones. And then spiritual leaders. I enjoyed Eckhart Tolle, for
Mhm.
example,
Yeah.
Ram Dass.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
So
yeah.
in terms of person, like meeting people, is there any particular person's energy that really has stood out to you in your life that you met like personally? Is it a particular person?
Well, yes. So much so that I devoted many years of my life working for his company, and that's Tony Robbins.
Wow.
Anthony Robbins in those days, then he changed his name from Anthony to Tony. So that's why his last three books, you see the author's name is no longer Anthony. He changed it to Tony. But anyway, it's the same guy. And so, but back in the day, during those years, his name was Anthony Robbins. And I really enjoyed his books, Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within. A long time ago. What the first was published in '86 and Awaken the Giant in '91. And so I got involved with this organization in the mid '90s, and then and I met him the first time in England, in Birmingham, and then in another place he was doing one-day events, and then in Brussels in '98, and then '99 London, and that's when I joined this company in '99. And so
Yes.
I started working with Tony around the world, literally around the world, 99, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, around 9, 10. So over 11 years working with Tony Robbins and traveling the world. And staying also at his incredible tropical island in the Fiji, in the Fijian Islands, which is called Vanua Levu, a place called Savu Savu, and the resort is Namale Plantation Resort, where I stayed for over 7 months.
Wow.
Living with Tony. He wasn't always there. I was always there, but he wasn't always there. He would come by for, from time to time for a week or 2 weeks, and we would run seminars together. Actually, the first Life Mastery seminar in Fiji that we ever did, which was a whole new program, I was the participant. He was the trainer, training me, coaching me for a whole week at Life Mastery. How you say, you're very passionate. How can you not be passionate having Tony Robbins coach you for a week at Life Mastery?
Well manifested.
Yes, yeah, exactly. In fact, I talk about, in the third chapter about your magnificent obsession, how I manifested that experience.
Well, he could be considered the top coach in the world, couldn't he? And you've got the top coach coaching you personally for a week. So that is really mind-blowing.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes. And then of course traveling around the world during his major big events, especially UPW, the Unleash the Power Within, and then Date with Destiny, all the Mastery University and the Leadership Academy, and always being around Tony and helping him out with his programs, coaching his elite clients to the next level. So great experience, great training, great mentoring, awesome experience, really.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
And always in amazing locations, always in the most beautiful locations in the world, like Hilton Waikoloa on Big Island, Hawaii. Atlantis, Paradise Island, Bahamas. I mean, come on.
What a life.
Palm Springs, we were at this beautiful Hilton in Palm Springs again for 2 weeks because I usually arrive a week later, a week earlier to enjoy the scenery and get used to the different time zones, so that when the seminar starts, I'm 100% in the time zone, so
yes.
perfectly well adjusted. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So beautiful experiences, of course. So other people whose energy I really liked. There's a very well-known coach. Have you heard of Steve Hardison?
No.
Yeah, he's a very expensive coach. That's how, many people know him as the most expensive coach other than Tony Robbins, of course. He is the most expensive on the planet, Tony Robbins. But of course, he's huge and he has a huge organization. Yes. Whereas Steve, he's just a guy, he's married with his wife, and he's very expensive. And he's got a great energy. Another guy is Marshall Goldsmith. Yes. Marshall Goldsmith is the #1 executive coach on planet Earth. And I've done a lot of work with him. And we're actually these days we're actually communicating quite a lot and developing new projects that I'd rather not talk about, because this is very recent. Their relationship with Marshall Goldsmith, phenomenal guy. The guy who's some of his masterpieces include "What got you here won't get you there." Beautiful line, by the way. What got you here won't get you there.
Very
So
catchy.
true. Very
Yes.
catchy and very true as well.
Yes.
And it's like, for example, what got us here was to say yes to all opportunities. What will get us there is to say no to most opportunities and be selective, perhaps. I don't
Right.
know. People is,
Discernment. Sure.
yes, we get to that stage, and his latest masterpiece is The Earned Life. Beautiful book. So now we're actually doing some work together. So anybody else that I didn't mention? Right, these are my Brian Tracy, of course, Byron Katie. And yeah, by the way, here I have a whole list because I have the acknowledgements.
In the book.
Yeah, in the book, I have all the acknowledgements. So let's say Robert Deal. Oh, yeah, Robert Deals. He is one of the co-developers of neuro-linguistic programming. We worked together in Florence, Tuscany, Italy. We were talking about Tuscany. He came to Florence a few times to teach workshops that we actually co-led and ran together. Essentially, we conducted together different. He's a great coach, a great behavioral scientist and trainer and developer, but key in neurolinguistic programming. Some other people, Byron Katie, Wayne Dyer, yes, Dan Sullivan, he's a great coach. John Wooden, a great basketball coach, probably the finest, one of my favorites. Harvey McKay, John Green, that I mentioned earlier, T. Harv Eker. I don't know if you know T. Harv Eker.
Yes, I do. He's a multi-millionaire who
Yes,
teaches about abundance.
yes,
What an
yes.
inspiring character, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely. Very inspiring. And for a few years, for like 15 years, then, he kind of like faded. But for at least 10 years, let's say from 2005 to 2015, he was huge.
I
He
did a
was
brief
huge.
course of his as well.
The Millionaire Mind, what was the secrets?
Yeah, one of those. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, and everybody loved this training style. Was
Yes.
very super engaging.
Mm.
And many trainers were modeling all his tricks and strategies in training and teaching. Cool guy, very direct in your face. Not that's not necessarily my style, but I picked up a little bit from all this. John Whitmer, probably the father of coaching.
Yeah.
Dennis Waitley, a legend. Jack Canfield, we all know. Marshall
Yes.
Goldsmith, Martha Beck, and Nancy Klein. These are my main
Inspirations.
original inspirations, teachers, mentors,
Lovely.
coaches.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been so wonderful to chat with you, Matt. And I'm sure that people will feel very, very inspired and feel the energy of, what we've been talking about. It's exciting. It's about making the most of your life and having an amazing life. So what is your major thing perhaps you'd like to share as we leave the viewers today? And as I mentioned earlier, all your information will be below in the description box, including where you can order your copy of Unlock Your Potential. So what is maybe a major thing you'd like to share with people that could help them at this time, that is something that you've learned in terms of all your experience and knowledge?
Well, yes, I would like to bring it full circle back to some of the key themes we talked about this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever people are around the world. and to demystify the world of personal development, coaching, training, self-development, self-improvement, and really remind people, because this is something that deep inside we all know. So reminding them, like Socrates actually said something else. You mentioned him earlier. Said, learning is remembering. There's also a great quote by Galileo Galilei. He says, you cannot teach anyone anything. You can only help them find it, discover it within themselves.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Type thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that they've got to, you show them the information, and it's got to register for them, and they've got to.
Yes, that's
yeah,
absolutely, yes, absolutely, yes. It's like, yes, there is an engagement involved in them, and reminding them that everything they need is within themselves already. And when I was saying demystifying the process, I'm referring to the fact that the most important thing is being yourself. Because when you really are in tune with your true nature, with your essence, bingo, you got it. You own yourself. Owning yourself, that's as good as it gets. Really, when you own yourself, you have strong self-belief, you can do anything you want.
Yes.
So you can just take the book and throw it out the window. Don't need it anymore. Once you get that, and that's what the message is all about. So don't throw it yet.
At least read it first.
until you get that feeling of really now of incarnating, of being and experiencing yourself really the way you really are. And that's, I think, that's the best wish that I can actually wish to anybody, being who you truly. It was actually a great quote, the idea by Nietzsche, become who you are. When you are who you really are, you can do anything besides, and you won't need to do much because you're already happy.
Yes.
Don't fall in the trap that, if I actually make myself happy first, then I won't have the drive to achieve. No, you will see what you really want. It might happen that, hey, you're very happy being happy. So would you rather actually kill yourself to achieve something to be unhappy? Would you really want that? I don't think so. But usually what really happens is that happiness leads people to peak performance, to do their best, to want just more naturally, because growth is part of life, part of the universe.
Yes.
And therefore, the happier we are, the more inclined we are to just grow, to just develop, to just in all ways. And, not just, in all ways, financially as well, and spiritually, especially emotionally, really having this great foundation that, you will triumph emotionally no matter what happens, because whatever will happen, it will happen in your mind. And once you actually you master your mind, that's it, you've done it. That's it. But it's, of course, you've done it, but you're never at the stage where you can stop. But where you actually where to keep playing. So the message that I wanted to give was just, the thing that I said earlier. Let each day be a reflection, i.e. the mirror of your truest, most authentic self. The more we express who we really are, the more we express we are who we really are, the easier everything becomes.
So
That's the
true.
message.
So true.
And
That's
that
a
implies,
wonderful.
sorry, the last thing, that implies that if we are truly who we really are, that means that we have fully accepted, honored, respected ourselves. And that means that we fully, completely love ourselves. And of course, and when we love ourselves, we find that everything is loving, the world loves us back.
Yes.
As the old quote says, the whole universe is yourself reflected.
Yes.
And the relationship that we have with ourselves is the relationship we have with others.
Totally.
Great.
That's a perfect place to finish. Thank you, Matt. It's been so wonderful to chat with you. And, I hope that we can stay connected and you can keep me posted on what you're doing. That would be
All
wonderful.
right. Absolutely. Pleasure. It was great chatting with you, talking with you. I really had a wonderful time. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, Matt. Wonderful to chat with you. And for everyone, all the information is below if you'd like to contact Matt or purchase his wonderful book. Thank you, Matt.
Cheers. All the best. Bye-bye.
Great.